Hey everybody, Alex Kozora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some more Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. Pittsburgh Steelers coming off their first divisional win of the season, 23-9 over the Cleveland Browns. Really good team win. Pittsburgh won its matchups, and one of those included taking away Myles Garrett, who had 2 assisted tackles, no sacks, no pressures, invisible throughout most of this game. And so how did Pittsburgh take away Garrett? Let's talk about it. Before we start, if you guys could like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site, SteelersDepot.com, would really appreciate that. So Pittsburgh doing a variety of things to minimize and really in this game mute Myles Garrett. You don't just go in with one plan to take away a player of his caliber. So I'll go through a bunch of clips here. This is the literal first snap of the game, a couple elements at play. You saw some boots to the right, so moving and changing the launch point where the quarterback's going to set up at. Of course, you're going to do this to the right, away from Myles Garrett. Get Darnell Washington wide open on this 36-yard catch and run on the first play of the game. But watching backside here, here's Myles Garrett. You're going to get a double team with Broderick Jones, Isaac Seumalo sliding that way, Rodgers booting away from Garrett, and then the quick hitting pass off that boot action to Washington, who's left all alone. Really nice scheme getting Washington up through the hole, this insert block, almost like what Pittsburgh did week 1 against the Jets. And so double team Garrett, roll away from him, get the ball out, hit a big play. Later on this opening possession, third down, and this is where guys like Myles Garrett really make their money. And as a coach, you really have to come up with your best way to start minimizing those guys in clear passing situations. So Garrett, this wide 9 alignment, common under DC Jim Schwartz, and so slide the line his way. We're going to double Myles Garrett, take him away, get 4 hands on him as much as possible. Now the Browns end up running a game here with Garrett stunting inside, but the center, Zach Frazier, first uncovered, starts to slide. He's going to slide left, even with his linebacker mugging up in the A-gap. They're going to let the running back, Jaylen Warren, handle that, which is not atypical, the big-on-big protection, back-on-backer protection. So Warren, nice job here in pass pro on the rookie Schlesinger, but you're getting this slide to Garrett's side, so the left guard, the center's going to slide to him. You're going to have basically 3-on-2 over here. So they didn't run this game, then Seumalo's going to help inside. They're running this game. You got the crasher, the looper, and so Frazier picking up Garrett, cutting him, and then Seumalo gets eyes as Jones works down as Garrett loops to the inside. So you're getting, man over here, 2-on-2. You're getting the back on the backer, and then sliding 3 to take care of 2 to Garrett's side. Not the most radical stuff, but doesn't need to be. Just get hands, get attention on Myles Garrett. Pittsburgh does. Aaron Rodgers throws this complete to Jonnu Smith on 3rd and 4 to move the sticks. Later in the game, Pittsburgh third down, and again, taking care of Myles Garrett in these passing situations, getting these dual chippers. You get Kenny Gainwell on this side, but then Smith over here. You're widening Smith to combat that wide alignment for Myles Garrett. You want to bump and chip him early in the rush before he gets going and gets up to speed and can start really putting his moves together. So Pittsburgh taking care of that. Jonnu Smith the chip before he releases out into his route. Of course, Broderick Jones taking Myles Garrett as well after the fact, but the chip helps Jones get set up and be able to handle that better, and just, of course, gives the quarterback more time to get the ball out, and Aaron Rodgers does, throwing down the right sideline, complete, pretty pass, I should say, and a nice catch by Metcalf, those late hands, just reaching up forward at the last second so the corner has no time to react and try to make a play on the football, but just simple stuff, chip. There's a downside to it. You have one less eligible out in the route immediately. It's a trade-off you have to make, though, when you're facing a guy of Garrett's caliber, and obviously still making the play here. This is 3rd and 3, and of all the things you can do to take away Myles Garrett, maybe the best thing you can do is don't throw and have a healthy running game. Now, the Browns' run defense is tough. They were number 1 coming into this game, probably still highly rated, but don't always have to pass the ball in some of these situations where teams fight. Now, it's 3rd and 3, it's not 3rd and 8, but still, take a healthy running game and let Garrett just go play the run and run away from him as well. Pittsburgh, of course, running away from Garrett a decent amount in this game. So nice scheme here. I don't know exactly what to call. I'm trying to rack my brain if this is kind of a crunch wham variation. It's on the tip of my tongue. I just can't quite figure out the vocabulary for this scheme, but it's kind of like a wham block where you're getting Fautanu down on the D tackle. You're getting Frazier getting this front side pull from McCormick. Fry move to the second level. It's a really well thought of and, of course, well executed scheme, and Gainwell follows up the hole for the first down. So big picture, not going to show all the runs, obviously, but Pittsburgh stayed on schedule. They ran for exactly 100 yards. Wasn't the most gaudy performance, but did need to be. Needed to be efficient, needed to stay on schedule. Pittsburgh did. It keeps you out of 3rd and long where Garrett can really, wreck the game. And, of course, just running the ball takes a lot of air out of that balloon. So nice scheme here. 3rd and 3, run the ball away from Garrett, and another first down. Decent number of rollouts and boot outs and sprint outs to the right side. Saw that in the first clip, the completion to Washington. You see it here. A lot of misdirection on this play. You're faking the handoff, faking the end around, and then Rodgers booting out. So trying to slow down that rush and force these guys to read and have to play a little bit slower. They're not sure where the ball's going. And that was a theme of this one. I was a little concerned about some of the boot action, just because under center boot action kind of concerned me for the run fake of it all. But I think Pittsburgh did a nice job doing really all of it out of shotgun. Rodgers, unfortunately, misses the throw high to Washington. Is a tough guy to overthrow, but just can't quite complete that. Otherwise, that's a nice pickup for Pittsburgh. But we're just talking about the scheme of it all. Again, Garrett right here, slowing him down, misdirection, sliding that way, booting away. Pretty common in this game. Going back to simple slide protection, giving help. Here's Garrett, his 4-point stance. You get the left guard, left tackle helping. Frazier taking the defensive tackle on this play. Call that, I guess, a 2-tech between left guard and center. And so you have Sayamalu kind of initially staying inside, making sure Frazier secures, probably watching any sort of game that they're going to run to, any blitzer. But a little drag hand backside, and then once Frazier secures that block, Sayamalu's helping inside. And Jones knows he has inside help, so he can maybe cheat a little bit and set outside, knowing if Garrett does come back inside, he should have the guard help. So it's a nice job here. Frazier, nice job, and you can very intentionally see Frazier making sure he's getting to his left here, so Sayamalu can come off and go help Garrett. You kind of watch the set of Frazier, a little more pronounced left here, and does a nice job as the D-tackle kind of spikes back inside of him to stay in control of that block and allow Sayamalu to help Garrett. And when Garrett's in that position, even a guy like him is going to really struggle to make an impact pass. Unfortunately, incomplete down the sideline. Good coverage by Campbell. They wanted a flag. I think it was a good no call, but point is, getting a lot of hands, 4 hands on Myles Garrett. The last two, similar things. There's only so many concepts you can come up with, but just to reiterate the point, this is a 3rd down play, rolling to the right here. Now, this play ends up being busted and backyard, sandlot type of stuff. It's really fun to watch. It's kind of why I picked this one, even though it's the same concept of, I'll show it quickly from the aerial view, meant to be to Metcalf in the right flat. Browns do a nice job defending it, and so it just becomes make it up and ad lib. And Jaylen Warren, what a play by Jaylen Warren, really sums up who he is. Just do it all, make it happen, gritty, high effort type of a dude. So they're rolling right here, and Warren's actually blocking Garrett backside. That's intentional because the goal is this ball's supposed to be out as Rodgers rolls to the right. Just a sprint right, throw in the right flat, get 5 yards, pick up the first down. So they're going to have Warren backside here just be the speed bump. But as it's taken away, Rodgers now comes back, and Warren does a great job to hold that block as long as he can. And then he just goes and finds some open grass. And this is not a route. This is not part of the play. This is just make it up and ad lib and let's go figure it out here on the fly. And so I love the effort from Warren to jolt Garrett back, block him, and then go run a route he's not supposed to be doing and make a heck of a diving catch too. So really fun play here. Nice job by Broderick Jones too to stick with it. His effort's been noticeable the last couple weeks. Get a piece of Garrett right there just to try to keep Rodgers clean. That split second longer so he can flip that pass to Jaylen Warren. So principle is you're booting away, sliding away from Garrett, and then end up coming back his way and Warren making a play, as only Jaylen Warren seems to be able to do that just kind of crazy high effort moment that has littered his tape since entering the NFL in 2022. One last example late in this game, and same principle. booting away from Garrett, who ends up winning inside on Broderick Jones. But by the time Garrett has a chance to track Rodgers down, the ball is out, hitting Jonnu Smith in the flat as he releases out, just pitch and catch. So get the ball out quickly. It's a great way to combat Myles Garrett. If that ball comes out in 2.5 seconds, even a guy like Garrett's going to have a hard time getting there in time consistently. So he can't sack the quarterback if the quarterback does not have the football. A very simple principle, but one worthwhile when you're facing a guy like him. So we're seeing this sprint out, and Jones getting beat here. You see a really aggressive set from Jones. I don't know if that's part of the play or just kind of his own choice here, kind of getting this almost chase down set that Pat Meyer talks about against these widely aligned defensive ends. You're going to try to close that space really quickly and kind of surprise and mix up your set. You see these space here pre-snap. You see Jones really aggressive, not just taking a vertical set or a kick set at 45 degrees, going to go try to attack him. Garrett counters inside, but again, on the quick rollout, ball's out, and Garrett just has to watch the world go by. So slide protection, chip help, ball out quickly, rollouts, a good run game that keeps you out of third and forever. All those combination of factors is how you get to basically the goose egg from Myles Garrett in this one. Just 2 assisted tackles and no impact in this game whatsoever. Road does not get any easier for Pittsburgh. They got to potentially face Trey Hendrickson on Thursday night. He's got an injury as of this recording, 5 p.m. on Monday. Don't know his status, but then week 8, it's Micah Parsons, it's Rashawn Gary, and that Packers really good defense. And of course, you'll see Garrett later this season. So we'll see what the rematch looks like. But for now, Pittsburgh winning this one convincingly. So let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site, SteelersDepot.com. Got a ton of Browns recap and Bengals preview for you guys. Thank you again, and we'll talk to you soon.